cutting cords is final. I just really want to point that out. Cutting cords is final. This is great if somebody has been abused, or this is great if somebody has been attacked, or somebody is really ready to move on. But I just want to emphasize that it is a finality when we do this. When we cut toxic cords, that's what we ultimately want to discover and find, but usually people don't take the time to really do that, right? They just assume, oh, that's a bad cord, I'm gonna cut that. But if that's a channel that you've used to communicate with somebody that's really important in your life, you definitely want to take the time to explore it. And this is where it may be more beneficial to clear the cord, to go inside of the cord and see the connection points. This may be a better time to see if there's a tangle, if there's a cord to the actual anxiety, if there's a cord to the actual toxic thing. You know, a lot of the time when people are questioning their very existence, I'm not sure I want to be here anymore, that's usually a shame program that only wants to self-destruct. So that's its program. So when we recognize, oh, okay, so there's a shame program going on here, how am I contributing to that? Is there a shame that I've passed down genetically? Is there a shame? Because then that's just healing that you could do in yourself. It doesn't have anything to do with cords, right? It's like now we're dealing with bloodline and genetics and karmic braids, so to speak, that you could then clean out. So I would just say explore, explore, explore before you go cutting cords. And you always want to clear cords before you cut cords, especially if it's to somebody that needs to remain in your life, because it can be very final, and it can be final. I mean, the only reason I'm saying this is because it's completely shifted stuff in my life. So when it comes to children, spouses, siblings, very good friends, there's other work that we can do that's just as beneficial. And working when it's your children, especially, and you're a mother, which, you know, you're a woman here, you're corded to your child physically for the first 10 months of their existence, but then energetically for the next 10 years. There is a very, very, very strong cord from their navel to you for 10 years of their life. That then begins to fade, but it's still always there. So we want to be really mindful with how we approach that, because if you can do your clearing work and you really clear something, I mean, it makes a difference along the generational line. In our cord course, we go through all the facets. So we go through what clearing is, and there's a clearing exercise. We go through what cutting a cord is, and there's a cutting exercise. We go through altering a cord and what that means. We go through untangling cords and what that means. And then we do a heart chamber activation, which, I mean, I really suggest everyone to do this course just for this piece, because that's the only space that we do this activity. But basically, it's a 5D upgrade. So what's happening currently is most people will plug into you anywhere on your body. They'll plug into your heels, they'll plug into your elbows, your navel, some your heart, your throat, the back of your head, your eyeballs, your kneecaps, wherever they want. They just plug in, because that's what people do. And what this does is it comes in and says, not anymore. The only way you can plug into me is through my heart center. What happens now is if somebody tries to plug in to my body that's not through my heart, my body twitches immediately, and it won't stop twitching until I go in, and then I find, oh, somebody just tried to come in through my heel. I'm sorry, and then I have a protocol. No one can answer this for you. I truly, I'm going to say that very, very bluntly, that I believe when it comes to a question like that, you are the only one you can listen to. Because listening to a psychic, listening to a healer, listening to somebody else's outward opinion that has a certain karmic thing that they're doing, I don't feel like is spiritually responsible as a soul. This is just my opinion. That means that we have to be able to trust ourselves. Right? And we need to know what is okay to cut and what isn't. And if at any point you get that teeny tingle, that nudge, don't cut this. Listen. Absolutely. Because and that's across the board. That can help you from all the way from preparing your lunch to social media, to relationships, to finances. It's always there. It's just, are we going to listen to it? And if something doesn't feel right, trust that. You can go in and explore further. You can ask more questions. If you get like, no, don't cut that, you can say, I would stay away from why. We don't want to ask why questions because that involves the psyche and there's defense. But what, when, where, how? What is this cord for if I'm not supposed to cut it? When did it develop? Show me more about its origin. Where is it connected in my body? What kind of energy does it move through it? What am I being asked to learn? How can I upgrade it? If I don't want to cut it, am I able to upgrade it? And if so, are they a willing participant? That, okay, let me go to their higher self and ask, are you okay with me upgrading this? Oh, okay, they got a no, I got a yes. Okay, so what do I do now then, Spirit? I'm getting this, and this is part of the problem. We're never on the same page. Oh, but interesting, look at what's coming up, right? Like we all know this is kind of how it unfolds. But those are the kind of inquisitive questions that you want to present in that space, and then trust. I hope you enjoyed this video. We have a bunch of other spiritual healing videos on our channel. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. I love hearing from you all. And make sure you're following me on Instagram at Awaken with Sophie.